Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
ITV, certainly the best.
Pitches and voices. My name is Kingsley Okoje, your usual anchor on the program. And as usual, my sign language interpreter for today is Cynthia Godwin. Let me, before I go into the nitty-gritty of today's program, let me start by apologizing to our ardent followers and viewers on television that for quite some time, 2 editions now, we've not been able to come on air. But thank God we are back now to do what we know how to do best, which is, of course, talking about disability, creating awareness on issues concerning persons with disability, not just in Edo State, but in Nigeria at large. And today would not be different as we'll focus our attention to NAVID. NAVID, of course, is the sponsor of this program, Hitches and Voices. And NAVID is Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, a non-governmental organization based here in Benin City, Nigeria, that is advancing the rights of persons with disability. NAVID has embarked on a very noble project, and our guest for today, who's to talk about this, is indeed a noble man. He's the program officer for NAVID, and he'll be taking us through what NAVID is trying to do to support the Edo State Disability Commission. I'm talking about Mr. Isaac Noble. Welcome to Hitches and Voices.
Thank you, Kingsley. I'm grateful.
All right. Like it is with NAVID, one of our core mandate, like I said in my introduction, is to advance the rights of persons with disability. And for quite some time, NAVID participated in several activities, calling on the Edo State government to do the needful by passing a law for persons with disability. That was done, and NAVID was not satisfied. Together with other sister organizations, we pushed for the Edo State government to set up a commission for persons with disability that would drive the implementation of the law. And kudos to the current governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo. He set up the commission to implement the provisions of the law. But the commission is in place now, but I'm sure NAVID is still not satisfied. NAVID has started a project to support the Edo State Disability Commission. And I want my guest in the studio today, Mr. Noble NAVID, who is the program officer for NAVID, to take us through this project.
All right, thank you so much, Kingsley. I want to especially greet our viewers at home. Compliments of the season to everyone. Yes, NAVID currently is implementing the project, capacity building for justice providers in handling vulnerable groups project. It's a project that is with the support of the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, ROLAC, implemented by International ID, and supported or funded by the European Union. It's a very short project, just about 2 months, but one of the aim that we have for this project or goal is to achieve the strengthening of justice sector providers, particularly mechanisms, justice mechanisms in the states to be more inclusive and provide more accessibility for persons with disabilities in accessing justice in Edo State. But particularly at the tail end, when we did that proposal, the commission was not yet on board. So as soon as the commission came on board, we saw a need to retwork the proposal, and thankfully, ROLAC gave us that open door to rework it. And one of the things we want to achieve, which is very critical for us right now, is the strengthening of the newly established Edo State Commission for Persons with Disabilities. So part of the things we're going to be doing in this project within these next 2 months is to strengthen, we call it institutional strengthening. Yes, institutional strengthening of this commission, of the members, and of course the officials, and to ensure that this commission is able to receive the needed support to carry out its function as a commission that is representing persons with disabilities in the Edo State government. And I would want to say that so far we've been able to achieve some level of results already, though the project just began December 1st. But so far, one of the key provisions that we saw in the law, the Edo State Disability Rights Law of 2022, is that the commission is to function with the support of what we call ex-officials. That is, each of the relevant MDAs or necessary MDAs that's to work with the commission are supposed to designate a senior staff member to serve as an ex-official in the board of the commission. And so when this project came on board, we needed to do a training or a workshop where these ex-officials will be on ground. And so what we did was that we began to mobilize. We wrote to the HOS, and then right now we have these ex-officials currently mobilized to the commission. That is a plus for us because before now, that was not there. All right, so but through this project, we're able to mobilize, and this commission right now has expanded its board to include these ex-official members. And just last week here, we had the first 2 days workshop training to train the commission and, of course, these ex-official members on what is required of them to function and to push the commission as a regulatory body to truly achieve its objectives for which it was set up for.
You just said something that's very striking. You mentioned the objective of the commission. How significant is this training? How will this training help members of the commission to effectively achieve the implementation of their mandates?
Thank you. You see, the commission, like I stated, is a newly set up commission, so they are still at the very base level, all right? And giving them the needed support right now is all that is required, okay, to function effectively. Yes, the government has done their part by establishing a commission, but if you notice, during the just concluded International Day for Persons with Disabilities, on the 5th, we organized, in collaboration with the Commission and JONAPID, NAVID organized the 14th Rights Above Charity Lecture. And the theme for this, for the lecture was from establishment to effectiveness, making inclusion the heartbeat of governance in Edo State. So that signifies that we know that government has played its role by establishing the commission. Right now, what we are looking at is to see how this commission can be effective. So the training we did last week was a 2 days workshop to train. We got the consultant to train the commission and, of course, the ex-official members on the statutory role as a commission. And one of the outcome or output from this 2 days workshop is the development of the operational manual for the commission. You know, for example, these are baby steps we are taking, especially as a commission, the commission level. So we are helping them take that step, like providing a guide, all right? So one of the outputs is that we've been able to achieve the operational manual, which is being fine-tuned currently as we speak, all right? And also, I want to also let you know that just the previous week before the December 5th, December 3rd program, we were able to even achieve the simplification of the Edo Disability Rights Law of 2022. It's still under this output from this same very project, where the law is being simplified so that the common man can access the provisions of that law without needing a learned colleague to decipher the content of the law. Yes. So that is part of the things we are trying to achieve. And one of the things you will see that at the end of this 2 days capacity training that we did, there was increase in knowledge, all right, on the part of the commission on their statutory role, and also what is expected of them as per the public, and at the same time too, the part that is very important for them is to understand their regulatory function, all right, as a commission. And one of the things that will help them guide their operations was the operational manual, which, like I said, was developed in that workshop. So you see that it's a whole robust program that at the end, in the next 1 year, 2 years, you will not believe how much we would have achieved by this foundation that is being laid.
You talked about an operational manual, which is one of the key documents or one of the fallouts from the 2 days capacity training. I also know that you are working towards developing another document, which is a strategic work plan for the commission, but we'll talk more about that. We'll go on a quick break now. Don't forget the program is Hitches and Voices, coming to you courtesy of Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, NAVID, a non-governmental organization here in Nigeria. We'll go on a quick break now. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with our guest, Noble NAVID, a program officer with NAVID. We'll be back. Back from that very short break. If you're just joining us, the program is Hitches and Voices. Don't forget, our conversation has been with Mr. Israel Noble Isaac, a program officer with NAVID, and he's been having conversations with us about NAVID's intervention or NAVID's support for the Edo State Disability Commission to strengthen the commission, to enable the commission fulfill its core mandate. And before we went on break, he was talking about helping the commission develop a operational a document that will help them function very well. Like I said before we went on the break, you talked about a strategic plan. Why do you want to help the commission develop a strategic plan?
All right, thank you. Thankfully, we have a government that's very supportive of the commission since its establishment. And one of the things that we also say is the outcome, an outcome for the commission since inception is that for the first time they were able to defend their budget, and for 2026 fiscal year they will be operating with a budget. All right. So we, as a development partner, NAVID, we see the need that it is important that they don't just implement programs or projects, but they have a policy drive. All right. So that's why we, with support from the ROLAC program, we are able to, that will be in January 2026, we'll be having a 3-day strategic planning workshop with the commission members and of course the ex-officials who have just been inaugurated into the commission to develop a 3-year strategic plan and a work plan for 2026 based on the budgets that have been submitted already to the states for the commission, so that it will be like strategic plans are like roadmaps. They show you direction. They direct you on projects and programs that you do. Is a policy direction. All right. So the strategic plan we are looking at is that it's going to be for 2026 through to 2028, which of course also in addition, like a cherry on the cake, will also be including the 1-year work plan, which is for 2026 for the commission. So that at a glance, even if they are going to be desiring partners to join them to push through with the strategic plan, it will be easier to bring partners on board, to be easier to bring,
all right.
Yes.
I don't want to be want us to be too academic with this program so that an average listener can follow properly. But the essence of all of this is to ensure that the commission functions optimally and deliver on its core mandate, which is to provide for the welfare and to protect the rights of persons with disability. I believe that's the essence of all of this activity. But let's go back to the ex-official you talk about. I believe these are members of various MDAs who will be working with the commission to achieve its mandate. And I like the fact that you are carrying various members of each ministry along. But I just want you to speak to the specific. Why is it important for these ex-officials to be part of the commission, to understand what the commission is doing so that they can implement it at their various ministry? How important is this?
All right, you just answered it.
I want you to expand on it.
You just answered it because their involvement play a great role. One, at the beginning stage, when you are part of those laying the foundation, you're able to contribute meaningfully to the raising of the edifice. All right. So in this case, the ex-official coming on board right now at this ground level is very critical. They understand where the commission is and where the commission is going. And so, as representatives of these various ministries are on board, for example, Ministry of Justice, one of their rep was available throughout the 2 days workshop. When he goes back to the Ministry of Justice, his role, his responsibility is to ensure that all the programs the Ministry of Justice will be carrying out henceforth should be inclusive. It should have a disability component, because disability is a cross-sectorial or multi-sectorial issue. All right, and therefore, talking about access to justice, for example, talking about accessing the maybe family courts or whatsoever, he understands the concept, because the truth is that you can't advocate for what you don't understand. So yes, if they are on board, they understand the concept, they understand the idea from which persons with abilities are speaking from, and so when they are at the implementation or policy level in their various ministry, they can make meaningful contributions. Okay, I'm representing this group in this capacity, and I can speak for them in this level. So can we make this program more inclusive? And how do we do it? You will now see them bringing ideas. Okay, we can do it this way, because they already have ideas. They've been trained on how inclusive programs should look like.
Oh, beautiful. So
yes,
for example, maybe someone, an ex-official in the commission who is a staff of the Ministry of Information, for example, if there's a policy to carry out a campaign or an awareness creation, he's going to speak for the disability community to say, look, we must make this campaign more inclusive.
Thank you.
Because sometimes we see campaigns on television, on radio, and they are not inclusive enough. They don't carry the deaf community along. You do jingles, there are no sign language interpreters to help the deaf community understand what you're talking about. If there's an epidemic now, how is the deaf community going to be aware? So such ex-official will help break down, unbundle these policies, and ensure that they are more inclusive, they are more disability friendly. That's a good one. Let's look at you say it's a 2 months
yes,
program.
Yes, yes.
So at the end of these 2 months, what does NABIC hope to achieve with this project?
Thank you. I will just run through the line of project activities that we've planned out, so that when I speak to the results, it will be clearer. Especially to our audience out there. One of the things we want to achieve primarily is to increase access to justice.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. For example, strengthening the commission is in a way improving access to justice, because persons with abilities will have better representation, both at the government level and also at the monitoring level, where you talk about regulatory, functions. All right. Also, we want to see that the current law, Disability Rights Law 2022 of Edo State, is simplified. Like I mentioned, we are simplifying that law. We've done the validation session just earlier this month, the 3rd or 2nd, I think 2nd of December. And part of that, what we did was to validate the simplified version of the disability law. And after we are done with the, final editing, we'll be producing even braille versions and other large print versions, so that it will be available for, the various clusters to access. That's one of the things we want to
members
achieve.
of the public in
yes,
general.
of course. Even the digital copy will also be made available for anyone to access it in a simplified language. All right. And secondly, we are looking at conducting a research. All right, on inclusivity of the Edo State Civil Service. All right, because we believe that the current state of the Edo State Civil Service on inclusion, all right, there's no data backing. Though we know that the government have tried, the government have tried by employing, persons with disabilities. Just recently, after the 14 at Above charity lecture, you could see that the governor gave direct appointments to one barrister, Kanyesi Idahosa, into the Ministry of Justice. That is applaudable, all right? And we through this project want to strengthen inclusion in the Edo State Civil Service. And one of the ways we want to do this is through data research, where we can say, okay, this is where we are. All right, this is how far, this is what is commendable from what the Edo State government has done, and also make recommendations. How can they improve? Because it's not enough to employ, it's not enough to bring persons with abilities into this space to work, but are there reasonable accommodations? All right, are there accessible buildings? These are things that we are looking at in this research, and it's going to be, we will make the findings public, so that the members of the public can also have access, and also even use it to make decisions, informed decisions moving forward. Then thirdly, we are looking at also this strengthening of the commission. We've talked about it already, the professional manual, and of course the strategic plan for 3 years that will cover the commission's operation, that will strengthen their operations as a commission. Then also we are looking at a case where we're also going to be creating awareness. For example, this program we're having now is an awareness creation program.
Of
yes,
course.
So we are creating awareness not just on the project itself, but also on disability issues, how front burner issues are perceived, all right, by the general public, and how they can better position themselves, you know, in responding. You know, you need to respond right when it comes to disability issues, all right, because that's why we are creating that awareness to ensure that there is deeper understanding. So part of the results we want to see at the end of this project is that there is increase in our awareness, one, on disability law, and of course on disability related issues when it comes to access to justice. And also, let me also skip this also. One of the critical components we're also seeing here is that there's an intersection of disability and sexual and gender-based violence. Yes, there's an intersection, because most of the times, most of these vulnerable persons are persons with disabilities, but they don't speak because they don't have a channel to which they can speak. So part of this we're going to be doing in this project also is that in next year, January, we're going to be training SAC workers. All right, it's part of this project. We're going to be training SAC workers in Edo State on inclusive practices in handling sexual and gender-based related issues. Yes. We're going to be doing that, and part of the result we want to see is that we'll have more inclusive practices. For example, earlier this year we did a research. When we were doing some of our findings, we find that at the state level in the SAC center, they don't have a database disaggregated by disability. So they agree to us.
To take count of persons
Thank you.
who
Yes.
have been
So they agree.
have been violated.
Thank you.
Yes.
They agree to us that persons with disabilities have been violated. They've come to report, but in their database they don't have that, because in their case form, disaggregated by data. So that's part of the reason why we are doing this training also, to strengthen that provision.
All right, we'll continue this conversation. It's quite an intense one, and it's obvious that the program officer for NAVID, Mr. Isaac Noble Israel, has a lot to say concerning this subject. We'll bring him on again to expand more on this conversation, but unfortunately, we've run out of time to continue the conversation today. Like I said, we'll stay on this topic and expand on it. It's a wrap for the program today on Hitches and Voices. I'd like to thank you for following us on the program, and for our listeners on radio, thank you for taking our time to also listen to the program today. We'll do this again next week. Till then, my name is Kingsley Okoje, saying spot the hitch and be a voice.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is, the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set roll out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
My leader.
ITV, certainly the best.
Certainly the best.
Many thanks for joining us on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. One platform you can take advantage of to know what's happening in the political scene. And we also give you the opportunity to ventilate your views, your perspectives and opinions on any issue of national interest, especially if it has to do with politics. And I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. It's a full house today on the program. From my extreme left, let me welcome Comrade Roy Oribabo, public affairs analyst, politician. Thank you so much for joining us, Comrade.
Thank you for having me.
We also have with us here Reverend Phil Aroje, public affairs commentator and analyst, senior pastor, Dayspring Gospel Church International. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good to be back.
Good to be back. And of course, we have another statesman in our midst, Barrister Gentleman Amego, grassroots politician, public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Jim, for having me.
We also have with us a constitutional lawyer. I'd like to thank very specially Greg Iyayi Esquire. Thank you for joining us.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, let's quickly look at some of the stories we're trying to, we're following, and then we'll be highlighting in the course of the conversation. President Bola Tinubu has restated his commitment to the immediate withdrawal of police officers from all very important persons, including government officials, business executives, former office holders, to reassign them to co-policing duties. The directive aimed to address the severe shortage of police officers for public safety and security in communities across Nigeria. But some individuals, some stakeholders are saying it looks like this directive is to witch hunt them, particularly from the National Assembly, more with the fact that the son of the president still goes around with these security apparatus, so to speak. Someone said because he's, okay, we have the first son of the federal, that's office of the first son of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, there are options, according to Mr. President. They can reach out to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to get some reassignment. But the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, they are also now overburdened with the demands for security cover, as it were. Well, that's on the one hand. Let's quickly move on to other stories that we're following on this segment of the show. Nigeria is currently grappling with severe, widespread insecurity, a situation that's led to overwhelming support for establishment of state police as an avoidable solution. Some states in the Southwest have been on that trajectory, but people are saying we need to make it more robust so that it becomes more effective. And of course, against the background that the U.S. Congress recently voted on the issue of genocide against Christians, particularly in the northern part of the country. And so they actively engaged in a comprehensive investigation into alleged genocide and escalating targeted violence against Christians in Nigeria. This follows a directive from President Donald Trump. They were in Nigeria to take a look at some of these allegations, and then against the background of the country of particular concern designation by President Donald Trump. Well, ahead of 2027 election, yes, it's defection galore. The latest being Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State and Governor Ademola Adeleke, who has now joined the Accord Party, leaving the People's Democratic Party, and he's also picked the government candidate of that party. For Fubara, well, I think it's a welcome development. People are asking or saying, how is Wike going to respond to all of this? But let's quickly meet our panelists here. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for coming. And just to let you know that we also have Austin Brahima Adugame, former National Commissioner, National Police Commission, Police Service Commission, joining us virtually from Abuja. Austin, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, so Roy, let's get started with you. Withdrawal of police attached to VIP has been a major talking point. Is this a political witch hunt against the background of the security situation we have in the country?
I think personally, any disposition, any action from government that will arrest the insecurity, yours sincerely will openly endorse it. You know, if withdrawal of personnel from the VIP will make our security to be stable, will make people move freely, and we can sleep with our two eyes closed, I think so be it. I will subscribe to that. But my fear is that the political dimension in Nigeria, Nigeria is a country that where you make one step forward, you make two back in terms of implementation of policy. Over the years, we have seen government coming up with different policy, but how do they implementation have been very backward in that regard. Because when you are withdrawing, you are saying withdrawal of police personnel from the VIP. Is it going to be total? Are you going to be selective on it? And that is my fear about it. You recall in any IGP that will come tell you we are going to dismantle roadblock. They keep on announcing it. And the more they keep on dismantling the roadblock, the more you keep on seeing it. Are we see on that trajectory where President is telling us that withdraw it and he's not really doing it? And the typical example is the son. We can see the son parading high level of security personnel. Who,
well, he's the first son of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That is
because he's from the first family of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Of course, but that's a position not known to our law. It's very unfortunate. It's not known to the law. It's not known to the Constitution. But because he's the first son of the president, does that mean that VIP also can afford it, cannot take it? Okay. But my argument have always been that, one, these personnel that are being attached to the VIP, who are those benefiting from it? Because I was told that those personnel, they are being serviced by those VIP. Who collect this money? I have also, at the time, called on Nigerian government if it is possible to commercialize that so that we can also be making. Yes, we can make a levy from it. I see no reason why VIP you are parading. I was told, that in any VIP, when you see a person with VIP, there are where they service them. Who is collecting this from? Nigeria need to, because as of now, Nigeria is on a borrowing string. Anywhere we can get money, we should look at it.
All right,
in January, we'll be facing the tax.
Let me pause you there, Roy. I'll come back to you much later. Reverend Aroje, we have this complaint that part of the reason why security is fledgling in Nigeria, we have a lot of ungoverned spaces. And one major thing that came out strongly is the issue of genocide against Christians in northern Nigeria. Maybe if we have more security, we have more policemen manning some of these places, this would be drastic. Well, what are your thoughts?
Thank you very much. Let me first establish that as of today, I do not have police or civil defense or any security attached to me.
You used to have?
No, not necessarily. Okay. As of today, I do not have, but at any point where I needed security, I could call for and it's provided, and that's allowed by law. Okay. Even as I am here, if I feel threatened, I could call the nearest police station, the DPO, and my life is threatened. It's the under obligation to send security men to escort me to safety. That's allowed. The issue of genocide in Nigeria is the federal government or the Benue State governor, who unfortunately is one of us, the Reverend Father, can be living in denial. The reality is that there is genocide in Nigeria happening not only in the core north, it's also especially in the middle belt and also around us here. We had the Christian Association of Nigeria had a meeting with one of the security agencies. And what I said there, personally, look, a drowning man does not care who rescues him. If it is Trump or any other person that will come and rescue us, let them come. That's one. And I told them that it should be established there that my personal opinion is that we need all the help that we can get. So the genocide in Nigeria is happening, not only just against Christians, even mosques and Muslims and non-Muslims are being attacked also. That should be properly established. But let me quickly lend my voice to the issue of withdrawal of security attached to VIPs. It is not a decision that was well thought through. The president didn't thought through about it, because if he did, he won't give a blanket statement. For over 20 years, they have always withdrawn and put back there.
And restore.
No, yeah, so he didn't think it through, because first and foremost, sir, if our land and our state and our country was safe, nobody will carry the burden. It's not cheap to have a policeman attached to you. Let them deny it. For every policeman you have attached to you, there's what is called administrative fee. You pay to the office. Then before you now pay the personnel their allowance, it's who collects the money? It goes to the big guy.
So that's why Roy was talking about.
Yes, even now.
Let's commercialize it.
Even now that you are saying that we are withdrawing, people on the road checking. Those people checking are also looking for money. So it's a thing. Who is losing? Nigerians will lose. The police authority will lose, because the administrative fee that you pay does not go to FRS. Okay. It goes to individual pockets. So it's not a decision that is well thought through. You cannot endanger the life of Nigerians. Okay. You cannot endanger the life of senators or ordinary Nigerians. Let me close with this. You're under obligation to provide security for example, for campuses, for university campuses or churches or business organizations. Now, the men who run the organization, they say they cannot have police. If you provide security for Uniben, you say the VC cannot have a police attached to him. If you provide army, civil defense, police for construction companies, those people who are looking like former prisoners in their country, who are here working as expatriates, you provide security for them, and you say a bona fide Nigerian like me or like you cannot have police. It wasn't thought through at all.
All right.
Those who need it, who can afford it, should be given security so that they can have safety.
But Amengo, is it like politicians are afraid of their sins, and that's why we're seeing these reactions and castigation of this Mr. President's decision? Because they say if our politicians are performing, living up to the expectations of the people in terms of development. I mean, we talk about the fact that roads in the country, they are completely comatose, and these roads are supposed to have been done. Well, probably the level of insecurity probably will be reduced. I'd like to get your thoughts along those lines.
Well, thank you, Duke. But my take on all this is that even God, there are certain people who see God. The Reverend will justify that. Other many angels, they don't see God. God is also protected. So human beings in positions should also be protected. Are you saying that Mr. President, who wants to go to the market or shopping center, she just go alone without any person protecting her or appearing to be protecting her? So all these hues and cries of let us remove the police from VIPs, it's not the problem. The problem is ours. We have just come to this stage we are now in this country where we cannot establish why we came to this position. I visited Sierra Leone recently. The policemen in Sierra Leone, they don't carry gun. All of them, they just go in the street. They don't carry. We people, our people in Nigeria are thieves. They are people looting treasuries. That's why they are afraid of them, of their lives. They don't do that in Sierra Leone. They don't do that in Rwanda. I've also been there. So this issue of saying withdraw police, you cannot, because you will be endangering their lives. The senators' life, the governor's life. Also withdraw. Also withdraw from the president. Also withdraw from governors. All of us are equal before the law. So let's not go there. Well, he has approved the employment of about 50,000 more to fight against insecurity. Well done. That's what we are waiting for. We have enough police, we have enough soldiers. Don't you see soldiers just not doing anything in their barracks? Policemen, the same thing. We should deploy them to the Sambisa Forest or to Niger. Okay. So it's not this problem we have. The problem is complete reorientation of Nigerians. We are very bad though. You don't know until you actually go into Nigeria. We are very bad. We should leave security for those who deserve it. Yeah. That's where I come in. But it's not for every Dick, Tom, and Harry. Okay. For those who deserve security, should be given security. But now we are happy because we have what we call vigilante. If you don't want police, go and employ a vigilante to stay with you. At least you dress, and that kind of dress will make people run away coming close to you. Yes. And when you're having events now, you put them, what they call the bouncer or bouncers. Yes. You see them looking so huge, and you cannot push them back. That's security, isn't it? Yeah. Leave our police alone. So that's my take on it.
All right, Barrister Greg Iyayi, we saw something that has been talked about the prowess of the Nigerian army recently in Benin Republic, where there was a coup and they were there to salvage the situation. What does that really say about the strength and capacity of our security agents in terms of dealing with insecurity? But if we can do it outside the shore, what's happening back home that we're having this fledgling insecurity problem up to this point that Mr. President has withdrawn police details from VIPs?
Well, I've always said it, and I've said it even in this studio, that the capacity to deal with insecurity by our Nigerian army has never been in doubt. At all. You know, the record they have made for themselves whenever they went on international assignments, the award they have won, and the commendation they have been given, United Nations, ECOMOG, and UNIFIL, and others. So it has never been like that. But the issue is this: the political will to use them within the country is what has always been in doubt. Because if you actually look at these, whether you call them bandits, you call them Boko Haram, you call them insurgents or whatever, they're a ragtag army compared to our Nigerian army. Our Nigerian army, they are well trained. But again, the motivation is not there. Then sometimes they are betrayed. There are fifth columnists within the army who give the soldiers away. And you can imagine where a brigadier general had to be. The unsecured communication that filtered into the communication gadgets of the insurgents. And then they got hold of him, got to know where he was, and they dealt with him. It doesn't happen anywhere. So if the Nigerian army is allowed to do its job, and they are not betrayed, because let me end with this. The former chief of Air Staff, Sadiq Abubakar, he said, look at, people are blaming the Air Force, they are blaming the army and security agents for not dealing with the bandits. He said there was a situation in Niger State where they located 6 places where the bandits were, and they got ready to go. There was no aviation fuel for the combat aircrafts. He shouted, he requested. He said he's saying this publicly. What's still enough is there, because none of his boys can say it, but he's saying it. He said, what do you expect an Air Force pilot to do?
Without fear.
No aviation fuel. He said that is a country that is blessed with enormous oil reserve. So is it like the situation they find themselves?
But that's really questionable, because how do you even plan for an attack without knowing whether the jets have fuel or not? Anyways, it's still politics today on independent television and radio this lovely Saturday morning. Well, defection is synonymous with politicians, and politicians are synonymous with defection. In the last couple of weeks, we've seen more governors move into the APC. And the latest is Siminalayi Fubara, who said he wants to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ahead of 2027, saying his own party, the PDP, that is also in a crisis situation, abandoned him. But before we get on course on that, let me quickly get the perspectives of Austin Brimo Adegame, who is a former national commissioner with the Police Service Commission. Austin, quickly give me your take on this issue of withdrawal of police from VIPs that is now more or less like a raging storm.
Thank you very much. I think it's a matter of policy. We've always had this penchant for negotiating very beautiful policies, but in implementing them, we turn around, we go the other way. Withdraw policemen from VIPs. It doesn't even look, on the surface of it, it looks nonsensical. Why VIPs? How many policemen do we have per Nigerians? We have just about 375,000 police officers, policemen all over the country, in a population of over 200 million. The UN figures for policing indicates that you have one policeman to a minimum of 500 or 400 people. If you divide our population by the number of policemen we have, you realize that we are far, far, far below. So even if we have 1 million policemen in Nigeria today, we would not be able to provide the required figure to police Nigerians, to secure Nigerians. So we are far below. Every year, policemen are dying, some are retiring. And some years we don't do recruitment. You find out the recruitment we've done during the Buhari's government, they say 10,000. 10,000, it was only done 4 times. So 10,000 short. This present president has authorized the recruitment of 30,000, but I think it has been upgraded to 50,000. If it is done 50,000 per year, would that give us enough policemen? So we don't have enough policemen to police the population. Now we're talking of VIPs. If a poor man is unsecured, how will a rich man be secured? How can I be looking for security when people in the streets are unsecured? So that is not that. There are constitutional stuff, I won't say negligence, constitutional negligence. This, if you go to the Constitution and the provision, the Act provided for Police Service Commission, you find that it was clearly, provision be clearly made for what you call supernumerary policemen. These are supposed to constitutionally defined to protect VIPs. Do we have them? No. What they did was to provide some elementary approval for banks and some other powerful industries to engage supernumerary policemen. This is a constitutional provision. We are supposed to have proper recruitment for supernumerary policemen because it's constitutional, and that is where the government is supposed to derive revenue. Every CP in the state is supposed to organize recruitment of supernumerary policemen trained by Nigerian police force in police colleges for period, and with pistols, short arms, we call them pistols that don't go too far. These are the people that are supposed to be attached to VIPs and to guide public buildings. That is what the Constitution provides. There's a role for them. Do we have supernumerary policemen? And the payment for their services is supposed to go to national coffers, not to the state CPs. Supernumerary policemen. So they have to guide industries, guide VIPs attached to public. These people use them are supposed to pay money to the national treasury. Then you now have the third layer, which is what we call yellow fever. These are the ones to provide road services, secure our roads, but instead, because we neglected this, I started creating road safety, I started creating civil defense. I said now we are talking of forest guards and all that. Meanwhile, I'm happy we have very renowned lawyers and experienced analysts in the studio. Go through the Constitution and find that we have been provided the leeway for these things to be done. But instead, we are not. Every president that comes in, every authority that comes in wants to secure their security around himself by doing things in his own way. I mean, the Police Service Commission is almost comatose. That is a constitutional body, not an act of the National Assembly, constitutional body. The roles of that body is fairly spelled out there. If we follow it, Nigerian police will get the best police we want in the world. Because everybody in that commission where I was served has a say. We have 6 commissioners representing each geopolitical zone. And they ensure that there is equity, that the rule is followed, that everything Constitution has defined is put there, so that we can have the best police recruitment, training, and all to meet our requirements and standards.
Thank you very much for that very, very robust, useful insight into the conversation. Let's go to the issue of defections that we've seen in recent times. I want to start off the conversation with the Rivers State situation, where SAME has finally joined APC. I was somewhere else today, and someone said, you know, to be safe in Nigeria politically, you have to deploy the Wike model, which is put one leg in APC and put another leg in PDP. So what's next for Rivers State now? SAME has defected. Let me begin with you, Roy.
I think Fubara, the defection was. I think to me, it's a late movement for him. He's supposed to be very much proactive more than this, you know. I have suggested to him, if you recall, over 6 months ago, that was the best time for him to go to APC. Because considering the boss who have decided to tag him in name, you know, the man moving at this material time, it's also good for him politically, but the acceptance, in terms of how is the national body, are they accepting him? Can Wike, the master now, the political Maradona in Nigeria, one of the strongest personalities in Nigeria now, you know, what Wike have demonstrated for some time now, nobody have done it before, where you have to eat your cake, you have it. It's only Wike who have that capacity now, and it's very strong politically in Nigeria. You know, we don't know how the president is looking at the whole, because as of today, Wike is very dear to the president or presidency. In terms of they are using him, is getting results. Have able to collapse the structure of PDP now. Now PDP is not sure whether they will be able to have a candidate in the next election. You know, therefore, when you look at a critical analysis of all of this, you will agree with me that I look at the game and see 50-50. Where Fubara is in APC Wike have been giving us assignment, you have to destroy PDP. Therefore, they are still on the same level, whether you like it or not. There is nothing unusual about the move. Okay. But my fear is the man in the Osun State governor. His movement to occur. I think I did a video on my page where I have to address him about 3 weeks ago that I see no reason why he should be contesting for second tenure. Because where we are in Nigeria today, if we want to tell ourselves the truth, I don't see him winning second tenure. I see him as a man who's going to labor, he will labor in vain. I hope he have to quickly adjust. Going to a core party, what is he bringing to the table? I did he want to do that? You left PDP, APC did not accept you, and very just now we saw what happened between the first lady and the governor. What does that show to us? Some of us who are watching from this also know that it's a low for him. He have no reason contesting second tenure. I see he's supposed to even remain the PDP to just finish the tenure, then move it to APC, move it to Accord. Okay. There is no way for him how he cannot make it.
All right, Reverend Phil, is it correct to say that the political imbalance in Nigeria between the North and the South is fueling these defections from other parties into the APC ahead of 2027?
Politicians will say, there is no permanent enemy, there's no permanent interest. Permanent friend is permanent interest. Yeah. But what politicians should realize, apart from the law, there should also be morality. You cannot have a permanent champion. But what politicians does is that they want to hold an office, leave the office, and remain champion. That's what Wike has done to Rivers State, which I do not agree with him. You were governor for 8 years, and then haven't helped to install a successor. You move on to your assignment and allow the man have his way, but he wouldn't let that happen. I do not think that it is proper for us to have one political party nation. That will not help us. What we needed was a 3-party system, or minimum of 2, so that a little to the left, a little to the right, we can have a balance. But ahead of 2027 election, this is 2025 ending, they are aligning and realigning, not because of interests of Nigerians, but their personal interests. That's where we are. PDP had been destroyed, unfortunately, and was one of the strongest political parties in Africa. If you weigh the actions of PDP and APC, when PDP was in power at the national level and when APC is there, I do not want to say some certain things. You can judge for yourself which one was better for Nigerians. But however, it is not even about the name of the political party. It's about the actors. It's the same set of people who have made 70% of people who are in APC today were in PDP. Apart from the very few like Comrade Adam Shoshomole, the president himself, and very few persons who was in AD, AC, ACN, and all the rest. 70% of those in APC today were all in PDP. So it's about their personal interests. Okay. You mentioned along the line, I don't know whether it was when somebody mentioned about the issue of bad road and all the rest. You see, the political imbalance you mentioned between the North and the South is the South that is suffering. Do you know that some of this affliction, bad roads, kidnapping and all the rest that we find on the roads in southern part of Nigeria, I don't find it in the North? Is anybody crying about bad road in the North?
Okay, well, let me just take a break now. We'll be back. A quick check on some of the top trending stories from our newsroom. We'll continue with our conversation on politics today. Phil, you're talking about the roads and all of this. Quickly anchor that point.
Yes, what I was saying is that the affliction that the former president brought on the southern part of Nigeria, it will take us years to recover from it. That's the reality. And I take responsibility for that statement. What we are suffering here in southern Nigeria, they are not suffering there. And unfortunately, the insecurity we have in southern Nigeria is also brought upon us by the people they refuse to take care of in the North. A few days ago, on Benia Ochiro by the bypass in your community, vigilante stopped a trailer that had cows and had more than 200 human beings. He refused to stop. And in a bid to get the driver to stop, they shot at the tire. And then these guys came down and took over the road and locked the road for 5 hours. I'm saying 2025 in Benin City. So the political imbalance have only benefited the few elites in the north, has developed the north, brought affliction. Why is our road destroyed today in the south? Because of trucking. Yeah. When we had the pipelines piping petroleum product to the north, you didn't find hundreds of trucks, thousands of trucks coming down south on daily basis to move petroleum product. So no matter what you spend on building the roads down, that's why Benin Sapele Road is destroyed. That's why Benin Auchi Road is destroyed. Every road exiting from Edo State to the north, both the one from Urumi Junction, Agbo to Isha, completely destroyed. Sapele Road destroyed, Epoma Road destroyed, going to the north. Look at Benin to Lagos, it's not destroyed. So the affliction from the north is what is actually destroying the south. That's the truth.
All right, let me pause
that's
it there.
The reality.
Let me pause it there.
Thank you.
But as a gentleman, Amego, the defections is something that is justified. I mean, everyone who has defected has justified the defection. Is this headed for democracy? Because there are talks and concerns about Nigeria moving towards a one-party state in the build up to 2027.
Well, this defection we talk about is there because they know themselves. The governors know themselves. Ambode tried it in Lagos and he failed. And Ambode is now in oblivion. They are seeing the APC as the only party that can survive in this country, and even including yourself, because it's like an elephant in the room. We have the great capacity. The APC has great capacity to campaign around and win all the elections. I mean, you can see Abga is talking there. He's already supporting Tinubu, even though he won on the platform of Abga. Here, Obaseki, as a PDP man, was talking, and then we got together and we defeated him. So they know that they'll be defeated because we have great capacity, great power to sink any party that wants to rival our own party.
So that's what the party is doing now to other parties.
We are not
sinking other political parties.
It's just like elephant to an ant. We are not doing it. They know. The forest where elephant is, ant must take, or rabbits must take care, but elephant will just match them and they continue the journey.
So APC is now an elephant matching all the other parties who are ants. That's your description.
Yes, it is. We are the elephants of the country. We are not begging them to come, but they are just coming because they are no longer feeling safe. It's like we talk in Benin, we man that will defeat you in any fight. If he's coming to you, you know. So you can just go back down and engage in the fight at all. So that's exactly what is happening. Nobody is going to beg them. They are looking for refuge. Then, of course, bottom line is that many of them have soiled their fingers and they want refuge. So if you have to come to APC to be able to protect yourself and your family. Otherwise, we will destroy because we have great capacity to campaign the nook and cranny of this country. See, when we are campaigning, it's always very aggressive. And that's what people want to see. So before they cast their vote, say, oh, that party that is always campaigning.
All right, Barrister Gregory, can you build on that? Defections.
Most respectfully, I disagree.
Well, I expected you to.
My learned senior. The elephant is not the king of the forest. The lion is the king of the forest.
Elephant don't match lion.
So
you have not seen the fight?
I do not see any benefit to democracy if all parties, start collapsing. The aim of the APC should not be to collapse other parties, but to better the lives of Nigerians. Since APC came to power, what has been the benefit for Nigerians? What has been the living standard? What has been the cost of living? What have we benefited? So those are the things we should look at. We should look at what has really helped. Even if you take over all the states and all the local governments, with what we are suffering in Nigeria today, that everybody, unless somebody wants to live in denial, with what we are suffering in Nigeria, APC is an affliction. I'm sorry to say. And we are all feeling the pinch. We know how much the pump price of petrol was before APC came. We know what school fees in federal government institution was. We know what the cost of communication was. POS transactions, banking transactions. There's no part of life that APC has not really wrecked for Nigerians. So I am saying they should concentrate on governance, not on politics.
Okay. Austin, is it true that the ruling party has abdicated governance to focus more on politics for 2027? Because that seems to be what's at the center stage every time, every day.
It cannot be. It's funny. It's funny. I enjoy listening to those who like to blame the ruling party. It's like a football team that have been doing well. Let's look at Chelsea. Chelsea was a super team. Man U was a super team in EPL. They were winning. They had all the supporters. And then suddenly something went wrong. They start losing. The supporters start moving to support the winning team. And you go on to blame the winning team. Say, you are doing too much younger, or you are collecting our supporters. How does that play out? You have to organize yourself. We know, I expect PDP members to sit down and begin to ask where the race is between them. When Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, with due respect to him, decided to challenge the zoning formula, how do you expect the party he was using to survive? That was led to G5. We should all look inward and know where our problems are rather than looking at archaic economics. What was a bag of cement in 1960? Is it what it is in 1970? What do we buy? What was a dollar in 1990? Is it the same today? Let's not look at politics. APC has wrecked Nigeria. Actually, it's very funny. What we see have today is that the same Atiku Abubakar that challenged the zoning, it was the turn of the South. He said he wants to run. Some party members went against that. And that is where Wike became empowered. That has become a behemoth today. Wike said, no, he organized the G5. I said, no, it must go to South. After that, now, it's still the same turn of the South to produce the president for another 1 term. Atiku Abubakar is insisting he want to contest. And then he has moved from PDP. I don't want to say destroy PDP. PDP members are not interested in that. Instead of, they are not interested in trying to look inward and see how the problems can be resolved. He has moved from there to ADC. People are following him to ADC to contest and say, challenge the South. Why can't we solve our problems? Look inward. That is my own. I'm not good at doing all this political analysis. If we talk about professional analysis, I enjoy it. But when people are talking politics outside, it's funny to me. I just enjoy listening. So I think PDP members should look inward and solve their problem. Leave Wike out. Wike is a man who believes in the law, and he uses the law to his own advantage. You can fault him, you can hate him, but Wike is such a person. I enjoy listening to him. I like his how he like to stand on issues and let everybody fault his stand on issues. That's for Fubara. Well, I think
yes. Good morning. We have our phone line open 08077770300. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, Solomon.
I'm glad that the analyst in studio there used the new parable. Let me analyze the parable again for you.
Which one the analyst?
You understand? If you are writing results, you are not the one to mark your result by yourself.
Okay.
They are not the one to say they are elephants, they are giants. And the elephant is the side of the citizen. What can we celebrate there? The insecurity, the fuel subsidy is gone. At least the past government you claim to today, they will be able to secure the citizen. The issue of the first one, me as a common Nigeria, is political screening. 2023, we all see what happened when a party with no structure shock the nation. That's why I come around. So those are not our panic. Our concentration is INEC doing the right thing. Let the election be transparent. That's what concerns the common citizen. That's my take.
Solomon, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. 0708077770300 is the studio number. Good morning, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Advocate. I'm calling from Ikoyi.
Advocate, it's been a while. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I've been watching, I've been doing your submissions. All along, I've been watching the television. Later, sometimes when I call, it doesn't go through.
Okay, go ahead. Just go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, I appreciate all your guests there, but the only thing is that some of them who might do team are tending to be too political. All of them there, they will have been behaving like elder statesmen. But I'm only disappointed in one now who is tending to be too political. The one I used to know, by the way, I still respect him.
He's entitled to his opinion, just the same way you are entitled to your opinion.
I just want to say one thing, because the situation we are now, is it good for the system that the system is this squeezed into a one-party state? If PDP knew that things can be done with impunity, that nothing will happen, they would have done the same. They didn't. But see where we are now, people are just, the judiciary is the other one man's control, and next is the other one man's control. This system is so interesting at all. Thank you.
All right, Solomon, thank you, Dr. Advocate. Thank you for joining us on the program. We'll take one more call, and then we'll be back to our panelists here as we begin to wind down. Hello, caller. Good morning. Welcome to the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, my son. You talk about the Great online.
Ultima the Great, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, my brother. Yes, it's quite unfortunate. What you said your father said in Nigeria, giant of Africa, insecurity here and there. And the president commanded the order that security remove from the VIP. And up to today, nothing has been done. And it was said that the leadership will give an example. I want to ask President Tinubu, he said his son among the VIP, that he's moving around with security here and there. So this is VIP people, all this is very important president. So they look at it as his son is moving security here and there. How is that he will do their own, being the servant of Nigeria. Let's see. And coming for the future, let me continue to the place. People that this take over the president of APC and even weekend. There are no more than 250 million Nigerians who will vote, who will vote. If I vote can, all the declarations don't mean anything to me. So then they do this including that in my own. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, thank you, Automatic Breaks. As we begin to call it around, let's quickly talk about the state of the nation. I've heard some of the defectors saying President Bola Tinubu's performance is encouraging them to defect. Is this contestable by you, Roy?
Of course, any man who wants to commit suicide have a reason to do that. They always tell you there are reasons, you know. But the issues are very direct. Nigerians will know more better. And I will continue to encourage Nigerians to remain undaunted. This is not the first time we are passing through this road. I recall as a very young man, you know, as can see recall vividly, during the time of Abacha. 5 political parties, everybody were supporting him. Abacha became so popular. Even when people on the street knew that Abacha don't have anything was offering Nigeria, all the whole political party, they say Abacha, without Abacha, some person said they will kill themselves, some person will make, at the end of the day, God in his mercy was able to rescue Nigeria. Very just that PDP came up, but I told us we will rule for 60 years. Where is the PDP now? They are struggling to be an NGO now. Yeah, but the situation continue. I just want Nigeria to remain very continue. Let us remain focused. Let us not give up. All these things we are seeing now, in another 10 years, we'll be discussing another thing. And I can assure Nigerians that if we don't give up, we'll be able to get it. Who are those who are defeated? Who are those who are the campaign? Are the politicians? We on the streets, we are larger in number. We have the number. We have the strength. This is not a tale about elephant. When it matters most, I have watched a scenario where elephant have to be running for his dear life. I have saw it. This is not time to say elephant. It's the time for Nigerians to say, let's take our country back. When Nigerians are determined, we will get it out. For here, if we are to do election here, the strong party cannot win us here. And the records are there. You have to take inventory. Go to the market, sample opinion. You go to anywhere you find yourself, go to just sample opinion. From there, you cannot know that where we are headed to. Let politicians, it's not enough for politicians to move. In this part of the world, we have nomadic politicians. They continue to move. They will move and go. Some persons, if you record during the time of Oshiomhole as a governor, you come under 24 hours. A particular commissioner was in 2 political, under 24 hours, he contested, he campaigned for 2 different political parties on a podium in this state. At the end of the day, Nigeria remain, Edo State remain. Nigeria will continue to vote.
Reverend Phil Aroji, let me get your perspective on this. We are quick to point accusing fingers to the center. It's on record that today, states and local government are earning more, receiving more. Are we being fair in making these analyses in such a way, manner that the center keeps getting all the bashing because of the socio-economic situation in
Thank
the country,
you.
where we know that states.
Thank
and
you
local
very much.
governments,
No, when you say, you see, you have to be fair to all. When you say the state is earning more, local government are earning more. Let's assume Edo State was earning 5 billion. I will now earn times 2, 10 billion. Am I correct? That's the earning more.
Yeah.
Ditto for local government. What you should ask, what was the value of 5 billion 5 years ago? And what's the value of 10 billion today? So even former governors, when they are saying that, I wonder what they are saying. Yeah. What 10,000 could buy last year, can 20,000 buy it now?
No.
So even if you have more money,
the value
yeah, so when you say the president is giving the state more money, what is the value? What was the cost of constructing 1 kilometer of road then? And what's the cost now? So we must be objective in blaming people. As for federal, why we blame the federal? Because all the money comes to them. I stand to be corrected. The reality is that as of today, but for the intervention of the current governor, I need to be corrected. Can anybody tell me what project today that is being funded by the federal government in Edo State? One. Whether it's road, whether it's building, whether it's edited. One that is being funded by the federal government with all the money they are earning. Benin Sapele Road is being funded by the state government. Benin Agbo Road is concessioned. Benin Awuchi Road is tax rebate from BUA. Ewu Agbo Road through Rumi is being funded by the state government. What is the one project that the federal government is doing in Edo State today? We can't fight them, but the reality is that it should be said. Okay. Whatever the federal government is earning, not one dime, to the best of my own knowledge, and I stand to be corrected, is being applied to Edo State. And nobody will tell us not to talk about it. We should blame them because they control the police, they control the army, and the state is the one buying vehicle for the police, buying vehicle for the DSS, buying vehicle for the army. So all the money that they are earning, where are they applying it to? Okay.
All right, let's pause there. If you ask me, who I go ask? Maybe we can ask Barrister Mego. In terms of impact, economic impact, the quality of life of Nigerians, are we better today as a people?
Well, I think the Reverend has said so much, and he's putting me in a box. Don't box me.
No, I didn't say so.
Well, we are doing our best. We are doing our best. Definitely.
Sorry, sir. The president and the governor are the same party, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the governor is helping him.
For those people to he'll be reimbursed. We are together.
Okay,
Webolo is working very hard. He will be reimbursed by what he is going to do on federal roads. Well, to say what is the impact of the federal government in Edo State.
As at today.
As at today. It pierced my heart. And I quickly looked around. I went on navigation, meta navigation. Oh, is the federal government doing this? While you were talking. Yeah. I couldn't really.
Not one.
I couldn't really mention one.
Not one.
However, they are coming. There are opportunities they get. When we vote 2027 massively, he will come and do some other projects here.
Right.
But the problem
is the president's popularity not waning as a result of this challenge?
Yes, Duke. This is what everyone is saying. We just come here and say something like this. But on that day, they too will vote APC.
No, we don't. As to who will vote for, that's not an issue.
No, it is. It's an issue.
No, for me, it's not an issue.
Okay. Now, what we are saying, what is happening as I say, okay, why are they defending? Why? If you don't want to defend, vote us out. Vote APC out. You cannot vote APC out. And why are you not voting APC out? Because you see a promise at the end of the tunnel. There's a promise at which I get there.
Okay.
So we are doing well so far. Yeah. We are working internally. Our GDP has gone up. Only people know what GDP is. Farmers will now be going to farm with a lot of implement here brought in by.
And the panelists are waiting for them.
We will do well.
Okay. All right. Barrister Greg Yayi, is the popularity of Mr. President, will it suffice 2027 against the indices on the ground?
It's only INEC I'm looking at.
Exactly.
Because free and fair election.
Yes.
You know, if it were to be in Nigeria, there's no way Donald Trump would have won the election. And this is what we are saying, that democracy is at risk in Nigeria if you don't have free and fair, credible election. If you want to know how popular the president is, ask the market woman, ask the students, ask the civil servants, ask the transporters, ask the members of the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria and the business concerned, and I guess the answer is going to be unanimous, and that answer is blowing in the wind. And I'm sorry to say it's not likely to be in the positive, because how you measure the impact of a government, how was my life before the government came on board? What is my life now? And if it has not made any positive impact, you know, we are even talking of going to the farm to go and meet who? The bandits. We are all seeing now, people are talking of territorial sovereignty when Donald Trump is thinking of intervening. If we cannot help ourselves, do we not cry?
All right, let me take a last comment from Austin Adogame in terms of the build up to 2027 as it relates to the popularity of Mr. President, even in the North. I'd like to get your take on this, which they say is waning seriously, and that will pose a big challenge to him in 2027. Is this correct by your perspectives?
It's not correct. It's not correct because we keep making the same mistakes. Listening to my big brother there in the studio, the same mistakes we make: market women, students, manufacturing, all these people you have named, they are the least voters. They are the least. Maybe survey has not been done in your place to see that some of these students that make a lot of noise hardly come out to vote. You'll be surprised that these market women that organize themselves as NGOs have a prize. It's very easy to buy them. Those manufacturers, those people you talk about that have views, their views are so susceptible because they have a stake. But do they come out to vote? You know those who vote? The silent majority. You cannot even reach them. Some of them are illiterate. They just carry small radio and listen to announcements. These people that you have not even mentioned are those who really vote. So we keep making the same mistakes. And the politicians know the price of every group, and they know how to reach them. So if you think Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not a politician, they're taking that his popularity is winning and he's not likely to win, then it will shock you. But if it's a politician, if it's a Nigerian politician, like my elder brother said there, it's very funny. It's a very funny thing. Nigeria is a unique place.
My time is up. Take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead, please. JB Dennis, go ahead. Unfortunately, is up. But I want to thank you, JB Dennis, for your time. Austin Adogame, thank you for your time. Ron Rivapo, thank you. Reverend Phil Aroje, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Pastor Mego, thank you very much. With the big elephant party. Thank you so
I
much.
don't know.
And then, of course, Greg, thank you for joining us. And that's the program for today, for this week. Be sure to join us next week, Saturday, on a fresh installment of Politics Today. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is Ahwa Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin aqua seed. Ayo or aqua game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Certainly the best.
Thank you so much for joining me today on the program Healthy Living. I'm Adesuwa Osa Uwagie. Today we want to look at sleep. How important is sleep? Because some kids don't even sleep anymore because of Cartoon Network and all of that, and even the use of phones by our children. You discover that some parents will wake up in the middle of the night as late as 2 a.m. to see their kids still watching television or on their phones, playing games, watching cartoons, and doing whatnot on their phones just because they are on holiday. But today on the program, we want to look at the importance of sleep. How important is sleep? And so joining me to look at this topic is a lecturer from the School of Nursing Sciences, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, and also a woman of God. So join me as I make welcome Favor Iniye Omarige. It's so nice to have you join us on the program, Favor. Okay, so today on the program, we want to look at sleeps, and hopefully you'll give us good tips on how to sleep well. So first of all, what is the importance of sleep to everybody? Children, adults, what is the importance of sleep?
The importance of sleep to everyone cannot be overemphasized. You know, sleep is a natural way of revitalizing the system, mentally, psychologically, and otherwise. Sleep has a way of helping the body to rejuvenate itself. You know, it helps the tissues to grow, to heal, and then it helps to replenish any worn out tissues. Painful enough, it is a very important and vital item that is missing in our society today because of social media and all of it. Sleep is very important for our well-being as individuals, to make us to live healthier and, you know, be more active. And our reasoning is sharper when we sleep well. We are more productive when we sleep well.
Let's take it from the children's angle. Now, kids are on holidays. A lot of them don't sleep anymore. They are mostly on social media, like you said. Some are on their phones watching cartoons, and some are just watching the regular TVs, but they are there up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. They don't even sleep all through the night, like they keep vigil until the next morning. So can they tell us why sleep is crucial for the overall health of children, especially children? How does it affect their growth?
You know, we're not having a lot of sleep deficits right now because of various activities that people are being indulged in, especially children. Sleep is very important in the general development of a child. If you don't allow your child to sleep well, they can come up with attention deficit syndrome, where they're unable to pay attention to activities. They can become very antisocial. They are unable to relate with people outside social media. When there's a time for them to talk with people around them, they're unable to relate. Why? Because they've not slept well and they've not lived their life inside social media. So interaction with others becomes very difficult. And then mentally, it starts giving them problems. They're unable to concentrate on things, on activities that they should have been able to carry out and concentrate on. And that's the reason why this period, we should encourage our children to rest. And then they should have what we call sleeping time. And then they should also have what we call resting time. They can, if not, it's on the long run, long-term disadvantage of this activity is not good at all.
Can you give us tips as a nurse how parents can enforce sleep time, bedtime, movie time, just as you've mentioned? How can parents enforce it? Because some parents see giving their phones to their children as a way of pacifying the children. And they don't even want to take that phone from that child because they do not want to be disturbed. So what are the tips you can give us on how parents can manage their children's social life and time for them to sleep and other activities?
Yes, it has to be, it's a very beautiful question you've asked. Time management is crucial here. The parents have to communicate with their children, bring them together, talk with them, inform them about the disadvantages of staying too long on the screens, all right, on social media, lack of sleep to their heads. Then they should have a timetable, a routine where from so and so time to so and so time, they are sleeping or they are playing. When they map it out like that for children during these holidays, and then you give them rewards when they do some of these things, it helps them to obey you promptly. And, you know, there's what we call the carrot and the stick. For those that are not complying to instructions, we look for other ways to discipline them. Take these items from them, their iPads, then allow them play with some other toys. outside the screen. Again, you can make them read. Some children, when they carry books, because they don't want to read at that time, they'll find themselves sleeping off on top of that particular activity they are doing. So look for activities that can induce sleep for them and make them do it. In that way, it will make them sleep more often and then reduce their screen time, also reduce their time of lack of sleep. So I want to use
a lot of children suffers from sleep disorder, and most parents don't know. What are the signs and symptoms of sleep disorder in children?
Yes. You see, after some time, these children, they wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to be feeling stronger and more active. But these children wake up tired from the sleep. They are waking up from sleep, but they are tired. Not had enough sleep. And also, outside that, this set of children, they don't have interest in activities that ordinarily should have interested them. They are not interested. And mentally, they are unable to process certain things that is within their age range that they should have been able to do. And then for some, they lose appetite. It can make them lose appetite. They don't want to eat because their system is not well rested. All right? So, amidst other things, when they get to school, they are unable to concentrate with their school activities. They can go to school and be dozing off in school because they have not slept well previously in their houses.
So what can parents do
and
now
again,
to
when
correct
communicating
this
with children
disorder
like this,
or sleep regressions in children? What can parents
they
do?
start entering into depressions, and then they seem to be withdrawn to themselves because they are not used to being with themselves.
So what can parents do to address this issue?
Any mother that sees that their children have not slept well for up to for about 3 weeks or consecutive days in a week should please see the physician. Don't just assume that it's one of those things. No. See the physician, let them do an evaluation, and eventually, if it's to place these children on therapies, beautiful. If care is not taken, if it's not handled quickly and easily, these children may need therapeutic care to be able to bring them
should a child sleep in a day? How many hours of sleep is recommended for a child?
6 to 8 hours a day is beautiful. It's just okay.
All right, we'll take a short break from the program. When we come back, we will continue. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. I'm still on the program with Favor Aniye Omarege, who is a lecturer at the School of Nursing Sciences, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. All right, Favor, thank you so much for staying tuned. Now, let's x-ray how lack of sleep affects the adult's mental health. How does lack of sleep, affect the mental health of an adult?
Just like we have for children. Adults that have lack of sleep tend to be tired and weary. They lack attention. When there is need to participate in any activities, there's attention deficit.
All right, we seem to be having a little bit of network challenge there. Is Favor, I think Favor is not hearing me now. But let's see, let me ask that question again to say she's joining us via Zoom. So, Favor, like what I asked, I said, what can lack of sleep do to the mental health of an adult? How does it affect the adult? Do they exhibit the same signs and symptoms of mental stress as in children, or they have a different way of exhibiting theirs?
Oh, can you hear me? Very well.
All right, Favor,
yes, adults also will show signs of stress, a lot of stress. They will be unable to concentrate on activities. There's this burnout, and then it aggravates to depression for some. Some other ones can come up with irritation. They become very irritated and unable to associate properly with people. it starts distorting their relationship because they've not been able to sleep well. And then they start deteriorating in their health. You know, lack of sleep can lead to some terminal conditions like diabetes mellitus, hypertension, all right, mental disorders like depression and so on. So we advocate good sleep is good life.
Persons don't see sleep as very important. A lot of adults don't see sleep as very important, and some who see sleep as important cannot sleep. There are some persons that will hit the bed, maybe say 9 o'clock or thereabout. They will not be able to close their eyes. They will not be able to sleep. And others will go to bed with their phones. How can such a person sleep? So that person who is looking for sleep, who is finding it difficult to sleep, who is thinking about everything in this life, everything but sleep, how can that person find sleep? Because we've been able to establish the fact that sleep is very important for everybody. For the overall well-being of a human being, sleep is key. So how can that, because there's so many people who cannot sleep, no matter how much they do. So some are depending on drugs. They need to stimulate it by using some drugs or the other to find sleep. But how can somebody normally help himself to sleep and sleep well without waking up like 3 or 4 times in the night before daybreak?
Beautiful. One of the ways that one can sleep and sleep well without having to wake up, you know, too frequently is at least 2 hours before bedtime. Do away with screens, whether television, phones, iPads, computers. Stay away from them. When you stay too long on the screen, it's as a way of, you know, impeding sleep from coming early enough. And also, late eating. People eat very late in the night. When you eat very late prior to your sleeping time, there's a tendency that you'll be discomforted to sleep. And again, we encourage persons that before you sleep, while you hit the bed, you have a lot of beautiful memories that you can actually, you know, think about. Rather than thinking about negative things, think about sweet memories, things that make you happy. And, you know, for some persons, they can just decide to hold their Bibles, and in the process, they can sleep off. Again, I don't encourage people to continue to take pills to sleep unless they've seen a physician and then it was prescribed and recommended for them. And we'd also encourage them to continue on it for a very long time, because these drugs themselves do have their side effects. So if you want to sleep and sleep well, and they don't drink too much water towards the evening hours of the day. Because if you drink too much water towards the late hours of the day, you are likely to get up in the night to go and continue to urinate. And some persons, once they get up once, you know, to urinate, they may not be able to find sleep again. Right, there are also other things that you can take. Take light food before as dinner, or eat your last meal early enough before your sleeping time. I think that will help to promote sleep, rest and sleep. Bathe. You can do warm massaging, mind massaging on yourself. You know, there are some mind exercises that you can actually do too before bedtime. And all of these will help you. You won't need any drug to be able to sleep. So I've talked about diet. I've talked about habits with screen. I've also talked about not taking water too late in the evenings and all of that. I think that will help also.
Sleepwalk. You find somebody is working, but that person is actually sleeping. Is there a cure for that, or is it a therapy team? Both children and adults. Adults sleepwalk, children sleepwalk. So what's really the cause of sleepwalking?
In sleepwalking, this is not a very common condition, but it does occur. And people that have conditions like that should see the physician.
Okay, but you know there are some that will not see the physician. Instead, they will attribute it to something else. Is there any therapy that can be done before seeing a physician?
When they are tired, at least all of us, we know our body, you know how tired you are. When you are tired, Sit down. Give yourself some time off. And that's what some persons will never do. They are not truthful to themselves. They are not truthful to their bodies. When their body starts giving them signs that you need to rest, you need to rest. Some of these persons will refuse to rest. So if they're able to monitor themselves to know that I'm tired, I should sit down and rest. At that time, they won't have to be sleepwalking. They'll be sitting and sleeping instead.
Okay. All right, Favor, this is where we wrap it up on the program Healthy Living today. I want to say thank you so much for finding time to join us via Zoom, despite your very busy schedule today. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us on the program Healthy Living. And compliments of the season, I'll be in your house to come and eat rice and chicken. Hope you would invite me.
Very much, ma'am. No issues at all. You are most welcome. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, people, this is it today on the program Healthy Living. You have heard how important sleep is to your overall well-being, especially for kids. All right? Be able to prioritize sleep in the life of your children and, of course, in your own life too. Screen time, bedtime, playtime, and all of that. And once in a while, take their phones from them. Deprive them from using the screen so that they can have a balanced life. Thank you. We'll see you again, and compliments of the season.
RTV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Tua!